And I'm Matt. In today's stories, a new crime wave is sweeping the country in the form of woolen graffiti. Scientists have invented an invisibility cloak. We help them find it. And the latest in weather around the country. But first, a story that will turn your world upside down.
If you think the world is getting more and more topsy-turvy, it turns out you're right. Builders in Germany have built an upside-down house. Before you think they may have read out their plans upside down, they did it on purpose. The wacky abode was built as a tourist attraction, as well as being a comment on the state of the world. The house is 23 feet tall and rests on its roof, and there's a steel beams in the attic inside the house. There are beds screwed into the ceiling, upside-down wardrobes, an upside-down kitchen, and even an upturned bathroom, though it's not known if anyone has tried to have a bath in it or go to the toilet. Normally a house like this would take 3 weeks to build. This one took over 4 months because workers kept getting confused by the strange angles of the walls. Many tourists visiting the house complain of feeling sick and dizzy after just a few minutes inside. We now cross over to our reporter Bailey, who's inside the house. How are you feeling, Jordan?
Thanks, Olivia. I'm here with the owner of the house that's upside down, Jordan, and I'm feeling kind of weird. So what made you decide to build the upside down house?
I've always loved innovative ideas, so I thought of the upside down house.
What are some of the comments you feel the house makes about the state of the world?
It represents the world's topsy and turvy.
What are some of the challenges that are in an upside down house?
I find it hard working around my house since it's upside down.
What's your least favourite part about living in an upside down house?
The toilet, but I don't really want to tell you why.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Jordan. Back to you, Olivia and Matt in the studio.
Thanks, Bailey. Even watching that makes me feel like vomiting. And now for a story that is truly out of sight. Look out, Harry Potter. The world of science is catching up to the world of magic. Scientists in Europe have created a 3D invisibility cloak which can hide objects by bending light waves. It has been found that light can be controlled using special tiny crystals that makes objects disappear. So far, scientists have made small objects such as coins disappear, but hope that it won't be long before they are hiding cars, planes, and even people. People have always dreamed of making themselves invisible, one top scientist says. The possibilities are endless, and we are very excited. However, since inventing the invisibility cloak, the scientists have been having trouble finding it. As soon as we put it down somewhere, it just disappears, the inventor of the cloak said. It appears they are having trouble finding other things too, like their lunch, which they think might be underneath the cloak. What will this invention actually be used for? Hoping to see through the reasons behind the invisibility cloak, here is our on-the-spot reporter Ryan with more on this story.
Hi, my name is Ryanina, and with me is Julia, and this is the girl that made the invisible cloak. Why did you want to invent it?
So I can crash as many parties as I like.
Why? Can you show us how to make shapes and objects?
I can make myself only have a head. And I can disappear.
What else can you use it for?
I can use it to stalk people.
Oh. God behind me. Over and out. Thanks.
And now, how's this for an interesting yarn? A new wave of graffiti crime is covering the country thanks to an underground gang known as the Midnight Knitters. These wall-waving criminals are covering tree branches and lampposts with small jerseys and scarves underneath the covers of darkness. Police say the knitted activities of the gang are illegal because their woolly crimes are being done on public property without permission. Popularity of woolen graffiti is growing and more public objects are being wrapped up every night. But the problem is, growing police say, that if the midnight knitters aren't caught soon, every tree, lamppost and traffic light in the country will be warmly dressed against the cold. The problem is spinning out of control. They're a close-knit group of dyed-in-the-wool criminals. We are stitching together a case, but it's not seamless. There is no real pattern to the crimes. A police spokesman said today, so far the criminal knitters have escaped arrest and continue to pull the wool over the eyes of both the public and the police. We go now to a secret location with our investigative reporter, Georgie, who has an exclusive interview with one of the Midnight Knitters gang.
Into the stark understand knitters.
Well, we go meet the elderly and they just love to knit, so we decided let's take it to the street.
Do you see yourself as a criminal?
No, we're just making the streets a lot colourful for the public.
Apart from trees, lampposts and road signs, what else would you like to knit?
We'd like to knit to the top of Nelson Cathedral one day.
How long have you been doing this for?
About a month.
Thanks for your time, Pins and Needles. Over to Jack.
Oh, good evening, New Zealand. Let's have a look at tomorrow's weather. Starting in the faster north of Kaiti, look out for some pretty flash flooding and raindrops as big as your head. If you're going outside, wear a hat. Moving down to Auckland, there'll be a mix of conditions and unfair conditions, but those are the conditions, and you'll just have to accept them. There'll be weather on the Bay of Plenty and it's taking a short holiday, but it's expected to be back for the weekend. In Napier and Hastings, the weather will sometimes be changeable and sometimes not. We have no idea what will happen there. In the Taranaki, a mild depression brings with a very dull day with highlights, and it'll be overcast and gloomy all morning. But things should cheer up by the evening, so don't worry. Everything will be fine. Wellington will have another capital day. There will be no wind all day. Conditions will be so pleasant. They'll be actually extreme. And the top of the South Island, Kaikoura, can expect to have a good day, meeting friends for lunch, going for a swim, and reading the newspapers. But try to stay indoors, as the weather will be just terrible. A mix for Christchurch, which will have some unreasonable rainfall, some sensible wind, moderate thunderstorms, and some very, 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 very angry snow. And in the lower South Dunedin, there will be frosty, cold weather, unfriendly, and until late morning, when the sun will pop over for a visit. Everybody likes the sun. That's all from me. Remember, I'm good looking. If it's raining outside, that's the weather for you. Good night, New Zealand. And it's back to the new desk with Olivia and a random. I don't know. Take it away.
Thanks, Jack. Well, that's all we have time for. We hope you've enjoyed this evening's broadcast. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Until then, I'm Olivia.
And I'm Matt for What's Up Wellington. Goodbye.